Welcome back to Gut Talk. Hello, Jilly.
Address the other man in the room.
And hello to our third co-host, Sir Duke.
Thank you so much. We are both delighted to be here today. And if you're not watching on video, I am podcasting from Northern Virginia, where we're from. And Duke made the trip with me, and therefore he's sitting on my lap because he heard we were podcasting.
If, you guys might be a little bit familiar with Duke now, but if you're new here, Duke is incredibly needy, like incredibly. And one thing about him is that he's not going to miss, being with Jill or miss a podcast episode if he's in the same vicinity as us. So
if you asked me, gun to my head, who's needier in my life, Jenna or Duke? I'd say Jenna.
Duke. Oh my God. Get out of here.
I'm just saying.
No.
Who requires more from me? You.
Duke, to the max and more. And he requires a lot from me too.
He is an easy guy.
No, don't do. You are lying to yourself. You are lying to our community. You're lying to our listeners, and you are lying to yourself.
Feed him. Quite frankly, don't even walk him. He doesn't want that. And let him sleep in your bed, and he's good.
Okay. Well, we'll let you
He just
think
wants
that.
to feel included. Sue him.
Anyway, Jilly Girl, they're all in for an episode today. Please give a little spiel as to what they can expect.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. Our lives have completely changed recently. Again, chaos, calm chaos, but it's honestly not even that calm. So we're giving you guys updates on where we stand, what we're doing. We have some pretty big life changes coming up. Some of you guys have guessed it in the DMs. We love a little bit of nosiness because we too are nosy girls. So it checks out, it fits. But yeah, some of you guys are right. Some of you guys have caught on, but we're going to give you guys updates on what we're doing. There's also been a lot of curiosity because you obviously do this full time, but I don't. So we're just going to dive a little bit into my life currently and what that looks like. And then we have a big program coming up that we're super excited to talk about. So we'll discuss that. And then we have some faves. There are some things right now that I am so obsessed with and need to shout from the rooftops. But the thing about it is, like, there's some people that are like, oh, we don't care about your faves. I care about other people's favorite things. Tell me what you're obsessed with. So we're going to do that for you guys. And I'm hoping to do this every now and then on the podcast because I am a consumer at heart. And when I love something, when I repurchase, that's when you know I am obsessed. And so these are a lot of our recent health-related, mostly repurchases.
Yeah, and one thing about us is that let's just say we don't like to get too comfortable. If that's any... if we're giving a little bit of a foreshadowing into what you can expect.
No, in fact, the last time I think I was comfortable was during COVID, living in mom and dad's house, spending my paychecks on Frankie's bikinis. Okay? That's the last time.
You knew peace then.
Maybe, but the world was flipped upside down, so I don't even know if I did.
So not even that.
I knew peace in 1995 when I was bored. Anyway, let's jump into it.
Okay.
So right now we are in this shakeup, and we originally were going to talk about my stuff first, but honestly, Jenna, I think that we should start with you. Well, one thing about our family is when one person is down, we rally around. Yes. And it's just the four of us, so the three others have to really rally. There's not too many extra set of hands that are really. What do you mean?
There's literally six of us, Duke and Sir.
Yeah, well, they're useless.
Okay.
I guess you could say our grandparents. But no, on a serious note, our family has always been the family that if you get in trouble or you get stuck or something bad happens, our parents have been so amazing our entire lives. It's like not shaming us, not trying to teach us a lesson. They know that we know the mistake or whatever we did, and they're really just there to be supportive and try to take stress away. And same with our grandparents. I mean, our grandma passed away of Alzheimer's, and our mom took care of her without one request from my grandparents for like 6 years. And now her dad, mom's dad, has dementia, which I'll give a little update on that because I'm at home with all the grandparents, and whoo-hoo. And then also our grandma on our dad's side also has significant memory loss these days. I think it's dementia. So that is all to say, we watch our parents take care of their parents, and it's just what we do in our family. So with that being said, Jenna has recently had some life changes.
So I wasn't going to talk about this aspect of my life because I just think there's certain things in my life that I want to keep private and not on the internet. But what we value is transparency. And if larger things are happening in our lives, for the most part, we want to keep you guys in the loop because, I don't know, things happen. And I think vulnerability is such an incredible, important aspect about life, especially on social media when it can seem like everyone's lives are perfect. So with that being said, I hinted at it a little bit on Instagram, I don't know, like 2 months ago when it was happening. But I am indeed going through a breakup right now. And honestly, there's going to be no tears because I have no tears left to cry. Cue Ariana Grande's No Tears Left to Cry. Breakups, this is my first significant breakup in my life. And I had plans to marry this man. Like, that was the direction in which we were going in. You guys might know that we moved in together. I don't show him on social media just because this is Jill and my platform, and it's not all about me and my boyfriend and how we live our lives. But we moved in together in February, and what I will say is that we are just not on the same page. And I think sometimes you can love someone, but just not be going in the same direction or have the same ideas that you both want in life. And that can just not line up. And that can be essentially the main reason why you should break up. And that's the situation with myself and my boyfriend. And, it's been extremely hard. Heartbreak is an extremely painful thing. I've never knew it until now. Obviously I've had some things in my past in which, they just fizzled out or they didn't work out, and I didn't care about those, right? But when it's somebody that you genuinely think that you might marry, it's really hard. And that is what I've been going through the past, I don't know, like 2.5 months now. And I've been so sad, and I've been trying to stay present for our community and keep up with my job, which is being in front of the camera and showing up for other people. And, ultimately what I've had to do is show up for myself too. So that's why if, anything has seemed off lately, it's truly because of that. And maybe that's a little part of our summer break as well. But I didn't want to talk about it immediately because honestly, we're still hashing some things out and we still live in the same apartment. I know that might sound weird, but with this life update comes the fact that Jill and I are moving again. So,
well, okay,
yes.
I live by myself. And the reality of the situation is you were living with him, and rent is extremely expensive in Austin. We both live downtown and aren't really willing to change that. And the idea of us both living in 1-bedroom apartments would be us wasting like $2,000 a month each compared to what we'd pay if we lived together. And, while Jenna has been going through the breakup, I've also had these thoughts of like, I'm 29 and I'm living with my sister again. Like, am I going to grow up? Is this a step in the right direction for me? Am I a child for doing this? Like, is this embarrassing? And at the end of the day, I was just like, who effing cares?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a single shit what anyone thinks. You know what I care about? I care about how much money I'm saving in rent.
Yeah.
I care about the fact that I now have somebody else to help me feed Duke, even though he's not a needy dog at all.
Oh my God. We're not going to start that.
I think we both made some mistakes. I mean, I'm not calling yours mistakes, but maybe you didn't necessarily ask questions early enough in the relationship or whatever it may be. And without going into detail, like, you clearly figured some things out that maybe didn't make sense. I, on the other hand, picked an apartment. And just because I could pay them rent doesn't mean that I didn't absolutely feel like dying every month when I did pay it. So for us, it's both kind of like a little bit of a fresh start. We get to just move on to this next chapter. Is this our 4th place to live in 3 years in Austin? Yeah, it is. But who cares? Like, it's a little messy, but we're fine.
Yeah. Let me say 2 things. One, to just wrap up the whole relationship thing. he and I are in a very good place in which it was amicable to a certain extent. And I like to say this because could I potentially get back together with him? Maybe. Like, there's a lot of things that both of us separately need to work on, and maybe the stars will align and we're meant to be. But right now, I think this is a time in my life where I need to move on and, like Jill said, start fresh, really find myself, really. I feel like I've been kind of on the glow up a little bit. I've been getting more compliments than usual, which is kind of interesting. And by the way, what I wanted to mention is that I am going to create with Jill a Healing Girl episode where we talk about all the things that I've been doing, what I plan to do, advice that I've gotten, because I think it could help a lot of people. Like I said, it's been a really, really hard time, and like crying it out and meeting with a therapist and talking with my friends and just relying on the people closest to me has been the biggest support that I could ever have. But I also feel like there's other things that I've been doing to progress and feel better about myself and like get over this, which has been super helpful. So that episode is to come because I'm sure a lot of you guys are either been through breakups or going through something that you feel like you need to kind of just choose yourself in. And that's exactly what I've been doing and what I'm going to continue to do. And part of that was saying, listen, I need to, at this point, not be in this relationship and move back in with my older sister and kind of restart and refresh, which, like Jill said, is it ideal for us to be moving in together? I don't know. Like, both of us, when we moved out in February, were like, this is the time for Jill to be by herself, me to continue with my relationship and move on in that aspect. But I think both of us are really excited to kind of do another chapter. It's another year. And like, listen, we're both in our 20s. Jill's 29, I'm 27. And like, we have the rest of our lives to live with a man and start a family and do all of those things. And like, while we're still so young, I would still call us so freaking young. Why freaking not? That's my motto.
And also too, I like talking about this stuff because I think it's so easy for everyone's lives to look so good on social media and not see the behind the scenes like thoughts and feelings of, I just bought a couch and now the couch is too small for the apartment we're living in, and I'm dating someone new and we used to hang out at my apartment all the time, and that's going to be different because it's very different to like hang out in your apartment when you live with your sister. That's just the reality. And it's also too, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm working out early in the morning, and now I can't blast my good morning playlist because Jenna's still asleep. There's so many things that go into it, but I think we're like, this will be great for content. This is going to be a fun, like, last chapter, truly last chapter living together, because we also didn't talk about like our last place that we lived in for sure had mold. Jenna, my voice, I was listening to old episodes when we lived in that house. I sounded so sick in that last episode. But anyway,
that's a whole different conversation because I got impacted by it too. But keep going.
We didn't like our living situation. Yeah. And also, we're going to be living in the same building as our bestie who just moved to Austin. And it's just going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're very much looking forward to it. But I think it's so, also it's like, oh, we love to be transparent with our community. Y'all are going to see our location switch up when we start posting content. So it's also like,
right. I'm like,
can't hide it.
I got to spill the tea at some point.
Right. It's like, what do you mean we moved? We're in the same place. We just now are together 24/7. What do you mean?
Exactly. So, real quick, I just wanted to talk for like 2 minutes about the Tracked program. And that is our 3-month gut healing program in which we're doing your GI map stool test, which we've talked about stool testing and how critical and helpful it is to be able to look at what's going on specifically in your digestive tract and your gut microbiome. Jill's done one, I've done one, our parents done one, we have friends do one. And then my friend Grace and I, my fellow practitioner, are going to analyze and interpret it. And then we're doing 6 different gut healing modules specific to nutrition. We're doing nervous system healing, which is such a critical aspect that Jill and I have been focusing on more and more. And we're combining that all into a 3-month program that starts August 11th. And we already have some amazing women joining. And if you want to be a part of this and really join this incredible community of women who are going to take the steps to really change their lives, change their health, and improve their gut health, I'm going to put the link in our show notes. And of course, if you have any questions, you can DM us. But I'm so excited about this program, and we start again on August 11th. So sign up is ending very soon, and we are very excited. And so if you're interested, again, link is in the show notes.
I think one of the things that really needs to be pointed out here is this is a way for you to get your stool sample tested and read and given a protocol based off of your individual results without having to completely break the bank. Because you can't just order a stool test. It has to be done by a practitioner. Yeah. And most practitioners are really, really expensive, including you. Like when you take on one-on-one clients, it's a lot more expensive than what you're putting tracked at. So if you're like, hey, I really do want to understand my personal gut health, I want a protocol built for me personally with supplements and advice on how to change my gut health, and I don't want to break the bank, and I want to learn, like I want to fix my gut health, this is a program for you. Yep. Now, I think too, Jenna, one thing to notice is if you are having extreme issues and you need a lot of one-on-one detailed help, this might not be the program for you. This is someone who you need to improve your gut health. You have a lot of the issues and signs that we point out all the time on social media, but you're not necessarily looking to go and meet one-on-one with a practitioner for the next 6 months or something like that.
This is basically the tools you need to heal and change your gut health and your overall health that when Jill and I first started, we didn't know or utilize, right? So we're doing nutrition. Like I said, we're combining the spiritual, mental, emotional aspect to the physical healing. My fellow practitioner, Grace, is so incredible when it comes to nervous system healing. And we're doing a grief yoga session. Like there's a lot of things we're doing that when I first started my journey, I was all about nutrition, supplements, and that's it. I did not realize that so much of my stress and dysregulated nervous system was playing a massive role in how my digestion was acting. And by switching that and really making those changes is when I saw everything flourish. And that is what we're including in this program that I think is missing in a lot of other people's advice and what my advice used to be. It's so important, and that's like such a thing that's distancing us from maybe what other people are doing. Yeah.
And so that's tracked. We're super excited for that. Very happy for Jenna and Grace for kicking this off. They've put so much time and effort into it. And then something that's in the pipeline right now is the program Jenna and I are working on. It is not based off of GI stool samples. It is not based off of any sort of testing. This is your level 1, where we would call tracked level 2 or even maybe level 3 of gut healing and assistance. This is for the people that are like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to buy at the grocery store. I have no idea about health. I need your help, and I need to do it on my own time. And so it will be an online self-led course. You'll be able to keep all of the information forever. There'll be tons of freebies that are a part of it. It'll basically be behind a password encoded wall on our website, and it's going to be tons of basically like lessons from us where we're sharing a screen and you're going to be able to see our video and the screen behind us, and it's kind of like a classroom with Jill and Jenna, something we very much wish we had years and years ago. And think of it as Gut Health 101, where Jenna's program tracked is 301, right? It is your third level. You've already gotten a grasp on a lot of the stuff, and you want to start getting into the nitty gritty of your own personal results. And that is the difference, true difference between tracked and GYST.
Yep.
So those are things that we're doing right now and we're working on, and we're so excited for them. GYST does definitely have a little bit more time to go. I would anticipate that not being ready until the early fall, but we'll be very excited when that finally launches. So
yes.
We have a lot of things going on, a lot of irons in the pot or whatever you call it, but we're pumped. So moving on, I think part of the reason why it's taking us so long to get all of this stuff up is I have a lot of jobs. I work a lot all the time, actually, And quite frankly, I'm getting to the point where something's going to have to give. I'm doing too much. I work 30 hours as a consultant right now for a company, and I'm basically launching their sales organization. They just needed someone to come in and basically organize and get everything together. And so that's what I've been doing. And then I also have my own softball coaching business where I do summer camps, I do one-on-one lessons, I do group lessons, I do training and skill sessions for travel ball teams. And so I'm working, I don't know, probably realistically in the like fall and the spring. Summer's been a little wonky, but probably 20 plus hours a week just with softball stuff. So outside of Gut Talk, and obviously with Gut Talk, I'm always really involved in that, but I'm really all over the place and my brain feels very scattered right now. Actually, I'm going to order the brain nutrients from Seeking Health because I don't feel like my recall is that good right now and it's freaking me out a little bit. But everyone is always like, oh, like, what do you do? I don't go to an office. I work from home. I track my own hours, which is nice, but it's also like I have to work in order to make money. So that's definitely motivation. You can't just like slack one day because you don't have too much to do. But the softball combination with the more corporate job combined with Gut Talk, I think is just too much. And I think being more transparent along with everyone else is like, I'm 29. I'm like, actually yesterday I was at the golf course with Dad and someone was like, oh, what do you do for work? And I was like, well, I consult a modular home company. I have a social media brand with my sister and we talk about gut health. And then I have a softball coaching business.
Yeah. And he's like, and when do you sleep? When do you eat? When do you breathe? When do you...
Do you have friends?
Right. Do you have a life?
Literally, no.
How are you able to do all of this? Like, what do you think is the factor that's allowing you to be able to still operate at a high level like you are?
Well, I wake up in my normal routine at 6:30 in the morning. I get my workout out of the way right away, which gives me a lot of energy for the day. I find that the days that I don't properly fuel, I'm not nearly as efficient with my work. So really making sure that I hit my protein numbers and that I'm full, because I get hangry and I get really almost like lightheaded when I don't eat enough. So I think that fueling my body and being healthy is very important. And then getting enough sleep. That none of this works the way it does if I'm not getting realistically 7. I very rarely get actually 8 hours of sleep according to my Aura Ring. I normally get about 7 hours and 30 minutes, which seems to be pretty good for me. But I find that taking care of my body and prioritizing my health is the only way that I'm able to accomplish everything I want to with all of these jobs, because a lot of times I'm working by 8 or 8:30 in the morning and I'm not getting home until 9 or 10 p.m. at night. And so it just requires like a lot of stamina and a lot of like mental focus in order to be able to accomplish everything I want to accomplish. The other thing I'll say too, and this was a skill we were taught in softball. Softball's a very long game and it's actually gotten shorter, but when I played, games would be like 2.5 hours. And the whole idea was being able to lock in when you need to lock in and allow yourself to lose focus when you're able to. So for instance, if you're in the field, you need to be locked in. But if you're in the dugout in between innings and you're not up to bat soon, you can let your mind wander, unfocus, and then refocus. And it allows your brain to feel a lot fresher. Mm-hmm. So there's never a day where I'm locked in for 8 hours at a time. I tend to lock in for 25 to 30 minutes at a time, take a 5-minute break and come back in. That's in a book somewhere. I don't know if it's like Atomic Habits or something. I heard that a long time ago, but I really did learn it from softball. And I find that that helps me be extremely productive, because I'll knock things out at work where it seems like it took me a few days and it only took me a few hours because I was able to just hyper focus.
Cool. And what are you swearing by lately?
A lot of things, honestly. The first one is I have right here my combination. So this is what, 30? No, there's way more than 30 ounces of water in this. This is 50 ounces of water. I put a scoop of Kion essential amino acids. I was explaining to mom and dad amino acids, and I still have to get better at explaining it. But I swear that it's helped me build lean muscle for someone that has felt very bulky a lot in my lifetime. So I have a scoop of that and Element. So I've seen like a lot of people do like sexy girl water. I wouldn't say it's that. And I normally have my Simply Modern cup, but I didn't bring it home. And mom and dad like don't have big water cups.
No, they don't.
I think you have to have a big water. Like I'm not drinking 6 individual glasses of water. If it's not in one large bottle, I'm not drinking it.
I mean, I'm literally holding up mine right now.
If it's less than 30 ounces, I'm almost not drinking any water for the day. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like I'm not filling up a cup of water once an hour.
I feel like that's such an our generation thing.
Oh,
like
for sure.
Girlies on the internet are all drinking large bottles of water.
If I can't drink my water in 30-ounce increments, I might not drink water that day. But if I
Same.
have a water bottle of 30 ounces or more, I will get more than the amount necessary. With electrolytes, with the essential amino acids, it's one or the other.
And that's how the girlies hydrate these days.
I don't remember the last time I had a glass of water.
No, like who drinks a glass of water? Who literally goes to the fridge and fills up 6 ounces?
Could it be me?
Couldn't be me.
Actually, that's a good poll. We should clip this for reel because I need to know who out there is drinking their water in individual glass sizes.
Like, are you really getting up? Okay, imagine you're like locked in on work, but you're thirsty. You have no water, but you have your empty 6 to 8 ounce glass next to you. Are you constantly going and getting up? Like, is that your break of the day?
And also, I just couldn't imagine drinking 6 8-ounce glasses of plain water.
Hydrated girlies never drink plain water.
No.
Never.
No. I can do at least 3 scoops of essential amino acids throughout the day. Normally I end up doing 2. But it's all about, if there's one electrolyte packet, put it in 3 different water bottles.
Exactly.
We're
That's
not
what I do.
drinking. We're not drinking overly concentrated flavored water. It is slightly flavored water. And I couldn't feel more strongly about this.
I entirely agree. And the other thing that I will say is I'm not quite sure if this is a very popular or unpopular opinion, but I hate the taste of plain water. Like, I
You've
just don't love
developed that
water.
over time. Yeah.
I think I have. I just don't like water, and I don't like ice in my water.
Well, our dad used to literally not drink a cup of water during the day until we got him on flavored electrolytes from LMNT. And I just got him on essential amino acids. I've been meaning to do this. I'll do this tomorrow before I go home. I am doing a supplement tour of what our dad takes every morning.
Incredible.
And everything has a reason to it. He had his DNA tested. He's had his blood tested. This man,
Stool tested.
I've never seen someone with a stronger supplement game in their life. And it's not like, oh, I felt because this influencer I liked. It's like, oh, actually, when I got my DNA tested, I'm more susceptible to X, Y, and Z. So I take this blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, we have to say that, like, our dad almost died of diverticulitis. And so, like, when that happened, the man was like, okay, I refuse to ever let this be me. That and, like, our Nana dying of Alzheimer's were the 2 factors that made my dad say that I will be the healthiest man that I could possibly be because I'm never getting back to where I was. And that's why he does all of this.
Also, I can't wait to make a reel about this. I can't believe I almost forgot. That would have been so tragic. He makes what he calls a smoothie in the morning, Jenna.
No, I know what it is, but tell everyone.
I was waiting for the shoe to drop. It never dropped. So imagine this. You get out your blender. You put 2 scoops of chocolate protein in the blender. Then you put soluble fiber. Or no, psyllium husk in the blender. You put water. And there's one other.
Greens?
Oh, greens powder. And one other thing. There's no frozen anything. It's lukewarm. There's no fruit. It's not a smoothie. It's a blend of powders into water. It's thick water. And then
Disgusting.
to end the little section of crazy but super healthy things our dad does, I put chocolate milk in my coffee. I make myself feel better by saying I get the A2 cow version. So it's the highest level of milk. But I put that in my coffee and that's my happiness. And if coffee and chocolate milk is banned, I'm dead because that is my thing. So I make my concoction, and again, it really is my happiness. I sit there and I sip it, and I'm so pumped. And we get in the car to drive to Mimi and Papa's, and I take a sip, and I go, Dad, was this mug clean? Because he handed it to me. He's like, yeah, why? Like, it tastes like black seed oil, which if you've never had black seed oil, it is disgusting. It's really good for you. It has a lot of antimicrobial, anti-inflammation properties in it, but it is the taste of it is one of the strongest tastes I've ever experienced in my life. He goes, oh yeah, that mug always tastes like that now. I'm like, well, but why? Well, I put black seed oil in my black coffee. I'm like, you put what now? That's it. Black seed oil and black coffee straight.
That's
I'm like,
disgusting.
You're insane.
That's like the definition of doing things for your health and not for enjoyment.
But I couldn't drink my enjoyment because the mug will forever taste like black seed oil. That's how strong of a taste it is. So, anyway.
No words.
Back to my favorite things. Sorry.
Yes.
The Egglife wraps, we've been partners with them for a while, and they have a new flavor, and it's a cinnamon one. I haven't been able to have crepes in years because of being gluten-free. Putting one of those on a pan for 30 seconds, heating it up, putting vanilla Greek yogurt, strawberries, and a little bit of peanut butter with a dash of maple syrup as a sweet treat has been the most
good.
Phenomenal. And you don't feel guilty because you're getting protein, probably like 6 to 10 grams of protein from the yogurt, 5 grams of protein from the Egglife wrap. It's essentially a protein snack.
Yeah, it is. We have 2 recipes of the crepes and this other like quesadilla, dessert quesadilla thing that we've done on our feed if you want to go check it out, but it's so good.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
Next. I have two more. One is the Unreal bars. I will always need a little bit of a sweet treat. That's how I want to live my life. But I also don't want a ton of added sugar. Unreal bars tend to have 3 to 5 added grams of sugar. And so it is a much better version of a Reese's peanut butter cup or a Snickers or the Mount Joys. They're delicious. They're easy to find. You can get them at Costco. You can find them at most grocery stores.
Mount Joys. Is that what they're called?
I think so.
Almond
Mount
Joys.
Mount Joy's a band.
I was going to say, up on the mountain, I'm on the red light.
I'll stop pigs off. Okay. And then the last thing I'll say, well, I guess I have 2 more. The last actual product, I have one right here. Pop Culture doesn't get as much love as Poppy and Ollie.
Culture Pops? Talk about this brain fog, queen.
Jenna, it's been bad recently. I've been freaking myself out a little bit. Culture Pop doesn't get as much love as Ollie Pop. ASMR. Culture Pop doesn't get as much love as Poppy or Olipop, and I truly believe they probably just don't have as large of a marketing budget because you just don't see them as much. I think they taste equally as well, and I used to be a hardcore ginger ale girly. I think any girl with major gut issues is probably a sucker for a good ginger ale. Culture Pop's ginger, lemon, and turmeric is my favorite.
Tomato.
Is my favorite soda alternative out there. It reminds me of ginger ale. It feels very refreshing. It's definitely not too sweet. It has 8 grams of added sugar. I could have sworn it was like 3, but I am obsessed with this, and this is my go-to, especially in those days where I do feel a little nauseous and need a little something bubbly. That's my go-to.
And your last,
as the hardo that I am, what I'm currently obsessed with is hitting my protein goals, and I want to punch myself in the face for saying that, but truly I find that when I don't hit my protein goals, I want to, on a day-to-day basis, I am so snacky, I am moodier because I am a little bit hungry. I'm constantly trying to figure out what I'm going to eat, and when I hit 30 to 40 grams of protein in each meal, I just fly through the day. So I'm obsessed with it.
I love that. I have a couple just to add really quickly to wrap everything up. The first thing that I love is the Cured Nutrition Serenity Gummies. It is 1 milligram of THC. I feel so freaking calm from them. And I know you're like, okay, THC, well, that's like scary if you're someone who doesn't smoke weed or take edibles or whatever it is. I literally try to stay, you know what, 10-foot pole away, if you will, from anything THC. But this 1 milligram is like a microdose. And the way I take this after dinner when I'm just relaxing, reading a book or reading my Kindle or watching a show, I'm obsessed with them. They're the Pure Nutrition Serenity Gummies. I've told you. I thought you... What do you mean, oh?
Well, I just didn't realize you were that obsessed with them.
No, like I've had them for like 2 weeks now and I literally can't stop. And I only take one. Like it's not like anything crazy, but it like the way people take melatonin before they go to sleep, I've been taking these Pure Nutrition Serenity Gummies. My sleep, my calmness, it feels like a glass of wine at the end of the night.
I'm gonna have to give those a try when I get back.
Yeah.
And I'm someone that has been scarred by THC, so...
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's no high, just calmness. It's 1 milligram.
Well, I'll be the...
Take 0.5. The first time I took it was at the movies. Remember, I took half of it at the movie, and I was like, eh. Anyway, next. The huge thing that I'm into right now that I always been into, but even more this summer is walking. Like if there's one thing you're going to do that, like one thing that has truly, I feel like changed my body is walking. And I'm going to say that every single day. And then lastly is Jill.
What do you think it's done for your body?
Slimmed. Like just the way I feel. Yes, I believe in weight training first and foremost, but the way that walking just gives me such a happiness, a joy, a high, a feeling of just like strength of just being able to go for 4 miles and come back and feel like I just accomplished something is in nature. Like I just love my daily walks. Lastly, Jill put me on these. Jill and I actually FaceTimed 4 days ago and we were wearing the exact same outfit. It is the Boyfriend Loose Boxer Shorts by Skims. I've been looking for the perfect like lounge short to just wear in the summer when I'm getting out of my normal regular clothes or I don't want to wear any like legging shorts. They're my absolute favorite and Jill put me on and it's the greatest thing ever. So
I have 3 pairs of them and I also have the long sleeve and I have 2 pairs of the pants because the material is the most comfortable.
The pants
too. Did you?
I did. 1 pair. I got the Skims sale.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, those are our favorites. That is our life update. Lots of interesting things. Follow us on Instagram. We're going to be sharing, obviously, the move update. The Healing Girl episode will be coming soon that we're going to put together. And I mean, obviously, we've been going through a lot. I've been going through a lot personally, but I guess all I can say is the only way is up. So I'm called
sure
it.
It's the only way is forward.
No, it's only up from here. Anywho, my bestie and I...
Nothing feels better than ending the podcast with a saying butchered.
With a Jenna-ism.
Your bestie?
My bestie, Nada, and I have said that this is our year. Like, even though it doesn't feel like it, let's just put it out in the universe that this is the year that we just shine and rise. So, again, we love you guys. Thank you for listening. As always, like, comment, rate and review. All of that stuff helps us out truly so much. And we will see you back.
And watch on YouTube.
And watch on YouTube.
Even when you're doing nothing, just play us in the background for some views. It really helps us get some traction as we're starting our YouTube up.
Yes, we are. All right. We will see you guys next week. We love you. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Bye.